We're too busy running. I'd still rather have the machine gun." Clarke was talking about the French Hotchkiss machine gun that was part of an American infantry platoon's armament. It was heavy and required a 3-man crew to move effectively, while the Browning automatic rifles that were also part of Clarke's firepower were effective in attacks and good for short bursts. The Hotchkiss was a better defensive weapon. Rainey slowly crawled forward, listening as Clarke continued. "I want to create pockets for crossfire, so let's get out of some of the forward shell holes. Jagged front line. Make use of what trees are still standing. Don't know what command wants to do next, so we may be here a while. Check the flanks as well. See if anyone we know is out there." "I'll get on it." Rainey had reached the lip of the crater when Kennard came up to the same point. "Sir," was all Kennard said as he moved past. Rainey slid into the crater and stopped to survey the scene. For a crater, it wasn't very big, perhaps 4 feet deep and 20 feet across. Apart from Clarke up on the far edge, another 2 soldiers were huddled to his left, digging, trying to connect shell holes in a quick trench line. "There you are," he said to Clarke. "I've been through 6 or 7 of these holes looking for you. I was half expecting to crawl into one and find Germans." Rainey never used slang terms for the enemy. He had too much respect for them. "Don't worry," Clarke replied. "They're not that close. About 50 to 75 yards that way." He pointed north and looked at Rainey. "You brought the toothpick. Expecting trouble?" he asked. Rainey's sword was an ancient Japanese blade, 32 inches long, with a 12-inch hilt and a small circular guard elaborately engraved with dragons. The scabbard and hilt were adorned with a number of small tokens and coins. "Anywhere the Germans can shoot at me is trouble," replied Rainey, reaching down and stroking the scabbard's tip crest again. Leaning his back against the shell hole's sloping edge, he glanced over at Clarke, whose eyes showed no sign of fear. He had a new line across his cheek since the last time Rainey saw him, compliments of a piece of shrapnel. "Well, Lieutenant, as usual, you are in the very position intelligence says is a target for the coming German counterattack. I'm here to warn you about it." Clarke chuckled. "Typical. Always me and my men." "I'm sure they're not just picking on you," Rainey replied. "They're targeting the whole regiment. I've been up and down the line giving the same warning." He looked down into the shell hole where the 2 soldiers were digging. They continually looked up at the rim of the crater, as if expecting German soldiers to suddenly appear. Rainey had noticed a very similar scene in the other craters. "Sure wish that machine gun would get up here," Clarke said. "It's on its way," Rainey answered. "I found them back about 100 yards. There's only 2 of them now, so they'll be a little slow. There are snipers about. In the meantime, keep an eye on our friends over there. They're getting some artillery lined up." Clarke sighed. "I was starting to wonder if we made a mistake moving this far forward." "Nah," replied Rainey, looking around the crater. "You found yourself the best hole in the ground for 100 yards. Clarke shrugged. "I remember some roomier ones back there." Rainey laughed. "That's the rich industrialist's son talking. You're living down in the dirt with us plain folk now." Kennard slid back into the hole and crawled back to Clarke's side. He curtly nodded to Rainey as he pulled out his notebook, opening it to a page with a hand-drawn map. "Sir, this line here is the top of the ridge. I've placed our line as such here, here, and here." He pointed to X's on the map. "Each point is close to squad strength. I made contact with Lieutenant Ronald on our left, so they're in position. I still have to go out and see if Lieutenant Benetti has made it up on our right yet. But it looks like most of the company is up on the line. Everyone's digging. The trench line should be reasonably prepared within the hour." Clarke nodded. "I remember the days when we could make use of the German trench we'd just taken. Thank you, Sergeant. Go check our right." "Yes, sir," replied Kennard, closing his notebook. "One more thing."